Hey there guys, how's it going? I hope you're all really well. I've made it to make another video, Saturday night again. Um, I'm really happy to have this time. I have been banished to my dining room, um, which is why I've got quite a strange wall and one of my daughter's toys behind me, because this is, I think, the best room in the house where no one can hear me. It's a bit out of the way, so it's very cold in here, but I'm able to talk a bit more freely. I've been feeling really happy the last week. It just occurred to me on sort of one of my long drives to work in the dark at 7 o'clock in the morning, that I think hopefully I can try and do a video every Saturday night moving forward. It's hopefully just going to be a little bit easier now for me to try and make more stuff and more videos. Because my little girl, she's turned 1 last week. She's now sleeping a lot better. She's still awake in the night, sort of 2, 3 in the morning, but she does go down at about 7:30 at night, and my other little girl does as well. And I have been getting my evenings back a little bit, which has been amazing. And I'm hopeful that, like tonight, I won't be getting any interruptions like I did last year, when it was a bit of a nightmare, and I was constantly having to stop and start, and then I had to try and get on iMovie and link it all together, and I didn't have the storage to upload to YouTube, and it was just it was really time consuming. I was up for hours in the early, just trying in the early hours of the morning, just trying to get a video together, and it was really hard. And I'm hopeful that I can just try and be a bit more chilled, and just not worry so much as well about if I say something silly, or if I don't know every note of a perfume or what's in it. And because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I was, last year I was doing lots of research whenever I could, and wanting to know everything that was in a perfume, because I do want to talk about perfumes knowledgeably. And it's just really hard. There's just not enough hours in the day, really. So I just thought, well, look, let me just make some videos, and if they're not the best, it's better than not making any videos at all. So that thought has kind of kept me going this last week. I've really just been looking forward to tonight, where I can just have some time to myself, and just talk to you all about perfume, and of course a life update as well, which I'm gonna try and do for you. I've never done a life update before. I don't really know what to say. There's sort of this little voice in my head saying, Sam, no one's interested in your life, or in anything that you've been up to. But I have had a few comments saying, yes, please give us a life update. So I'll try my best for you. I don't know how interesting my life is, or it's going to be. I've been wearing my Bottega Veneta sample I talked about last week. This is the signature fragrance, and it's really special. It's really lovely. I did look them up briefly earlier, and they're of course Italian, and particularly specifically leather, designing leather goods, and that certainly comes across in this perfume. It's very leathery, woody, it's very subtle, and it's very sexy. It's one of those perfumes that you kind of would wear and hope that, well, not hope, but perhaps a nice man might come along, and maybe it's your boyfriend or husband, and if he kissed your neck and you were wearing this is what it's meant for, really. It's meant for up close and personal. It would be extremely sexy to wear. Unfortunately, it's not happened to me today, and I haven't had that kind of thing happen. but it's very much evocative of just a lovely cozy sort of night in. It's very warm. It's really lovely. It's very, very classy. So I'd really recommend you do get a little spray of that. It's really, really nice. I've been wearing over the last week just at night. I've been after getting home from work and sorting out my children, and then after all of that and they've gone to bed, I get a chance to have a shower. I've been spritzing this on, and I'm not impressed. It's Britney Spears Fantasy. I have to say, it's fading literally 20 minutes at the most. I can't smell it at all. It's just completely gone on my skin. My husband didn't like it. He said it was quite sickly. I'm just not overly impressed, really. Sorry, Britney. And I think it's quite a young perfume. I think if you're about 13, 14, it's a great present for a teenage girl. Obviously nice little funky bottle and things, but it's not for me. I don't think I'll actually be wearing that a lot again. Oh, and there was just something else I wanted to mention as well at the start of the video. What I've done is I've signed up to this monthly subscription through the fragrance shop, and it's called Scent Addict. And basically what it is you pay £12 a month, and I ummed and ahed, and I wasn't sure about it. But I decided to go for it because I was excited about choosing 12 perfumes. So they've got a full range of designer perfumes, and you choose 12 for a year's subscription sort of thing. And then each month they send you a refill. This is the atomizer you get. It's 8ml, and they send you a refill of your fragrance that you've chosen. So I've gone for ones that I know I wouldn't be able to afford to buy. So things like Tom Ford's, and I've gone for Gabrielle Chanel. That's on its way, hopefully next month. And Dior, and some Guerlain fragrances. You know, really, really nice houses that I'd love to sample and wear. So it is a good idea in that way. But obviously you're not committed to buying and spending £60, £70 on a full bottle. So anyway, so the first one that I've got is Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium, which I've never had before. I've smelt it in shops and things, but I've never actually worn it before. So I'm going to be wearing that. I don't quite know when, because it's certainly not a work perfume at all, in my opinion. And I'm not going on any nights out that I'm aware of anytime soon. So I'll probably just be wearing it, sitting watching, I don't know, Coronation Street at night or something. But I will be wearing it thoroughly. I'm determined to just use it all up because I've paid £12 for it. And then I will let you know my thoughts on that. So look out for these reviews as well. I'll be able to tell you at length about a particular perfume through this, and I'll let you know if it's worth doing as well. I'll see how we get on. My first worry when it came today was, is it definitely Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium? Now luckily I do have an idea of what it smells like, so I thought yeah, it is. But how do I know with some of them I've never smelt before if they've given me the right one? Because there's nothing to say what it is, which is slightly worrying. And thankfully I can stop my direct debit at any time. So it is £12 a month, but I can, it says stop it. So I will see how I get on with that as well. So yeah, so you're here for a life update if you're still with me. I don't quite know where to start really. Maybe if I start with work. So if you've followed me before, you've watched other videos, you'll know that I'm a teacher. And I went back to work last September after maternity leave, and I've gone back full time. And it's been extremely difficult. The last 4 months have not been good months for me at all. It's been hard in so many different ways. And you know, teaching is a very demanding job at the best of times, and I've been teaching for about 7 years, and it's always been demanding. It's always been grueling and tiring, and I mean, it's an extremely rewarding job as well, which is why teachers do it and why we stay, and why we keep going. Really, it is a very rewarding job, and you do have the chance to make a difference every day, and to have every day is very different, and it's certainly not a boring job at all, but physically, emotionally, mentally, it's very all-consuming, really. And throwing into that I've left my babies, and luckily they've been being looked after by my family. I haven't had to put them into care like nursery or anything like that, which is reassuring, that I'm not worrying about them at a nursery, or I know that they're in safe hands, but it's still the fact that I don't see them really Monday to Friday really much at all. I mean, I leave at about 7 in the morning, and I get back some days at gone 6 o'clock at night, and at that point they're irritable, they want to go to bed, I'm irritable, my husband's irritable. The evenings have often just been awful, really, very stressful, and and then once I've got them to sleep and I'm just so tired, I've just really been falling asleep at about, I don't know, 9:30, 10 on the settee. I'm just out like a light. I can't keep my eyes open. And then I've been woken up at 2 or 3 by baby. I can hear crying, and I'm always up in the night with her. I don't get a full night's sleep. Sometimes I'm up twice in the night, and it's broken sleep, and it takes its toll. It really does. And you know, there's days I just cry on the way to work, I cry on the way home, I cry when I'm at work, not in front of the children. It's very hard to keep it in. I try and just, you know, get it out my system before early in the morning, or because it has just, I've just been overwhelmed, really. It's just been really hard, and I think my sense of identity has been it's been difficult. I don't feel like I'm a mom. I don't feel like I'm a mom. You know, I don't take my baby to mummy baby groups or baby massage, or, you know, all those things that mums do. I don't do that. And then at work, because I'm full-time, I don't really relate to kind of the full-time workers who are, you know, very ambitious, and they're trying to get, you know, this done and that done, and they've got their finger in this pie and that pie, and there's no way I can keep up with that. And there's no other mums that work there that are full-time like me, and that's difficult to talk to them. And, you know, they're off at 1 or whatever to go and pick their children up from nursery and have the afternoons with them, or so I'm feeling a bit lost, really. I'm feeling a bit lost, and it's just the situation that I'm in. Of course, I have to work full time, and you know, people say to me at work, well, Sam, just go part time. And you know, I feel like saying, well, don't you think if I could work part time that I would work part time? You know, I can't afford to work part time. And it's hard, isn't it? It's difficult nowadays to survive. I mean, everything's so expensive. Um, you know, my bills are just colossal, and it's hard, but it's you know, I don't want to sound like I'm moaning, and I'm just trying to be honest, really. It's just how it is at the moment, and I have to say though, the start of this new year, I'm feeling a lot more positive. I am. My little girl's turned 1 last week, and she's a lot more independent in the last few weeks. You know, you can leave her for a little bit longer and she'll play, and she's not always wanting me or crying for me, and she is going down to sleep at the same time every night. And you know, there's little positive changes that are happening that are just making life that little bit more easier every day. And I'm like tonight, you know, I'm able to make this video. It's just not been possible for the past 4 or 5 months. So there's just little things that are making life a bit easier, and I'm positive that I'm really not a winter person as well at all. I'm sunshine summer all the way, and this weather's really getting me down as well. And you know, as the nights start getting lighter, and you know, I'm just hopeful, really. That things are going to get a bit easier. And you know, it was never going to be easy going back after maternity leave. It was a big shock, and a big shock to the system, and it's taking me a while to readjust and get back into working. And you know, I just hope that, you know, I am setting a good example to my daughters, and that's all that keeps me going, really, is the thought that hopefully they will think that I'm a good role model. And you know, I hope that something good can come out of this, really. So yeah, so that's work, really. I keep going. It's fine, you know. It's my job, and you know, there's a lot worse jobs that I could do. I mean, it's not the most glamorous of jobs by any means, and certainly that does get me down. The lack of glamour, the lack of I don't know. You can't really. I mean, these are my staple work perfumes, so you can see my unenthusiasm for them. I don't even want to look at them on a Saturday. They're Armani She, I think it's called. I've worn that for so long to work, and I've been wearing, the last term I've been wearing CK Into You, and you know, they're both, you know, very wearable, fresh, nice fragrances, you know, day-to-day wear. They're really nice. But even wearing these, you know, I feel it's just not the sort of job that, you know, you wear your makeup and you wear perfume, you wear nice clothes, and it's just not practical. You know, you're sitting on the floor, you're doing PE, and you're doing all these things, and you know, you kind of, well, I can't tell you the smells that you encounter with 27 8-year-olds. I mean, you know, it's just not it's just not the nicest kind of job to feel, you know, to feel nice really in the day. I mean, it's probably too much information, but I mean, some days you come home and you think, what have I sat in, you know, because on your dress or whatever, you know, if you've sat in one of the chairs that's not very nice in the class, and you know, something's rubbed off on your dress, and you know, it's just can be a bit yuck sometimes, in all honesty, and that's not me really, you know. I've always felt that I haven't got that kind of surrounded by lovely things, and I think I just need to get myself back into selling perfume really in a department store. That's my kind of environment, but unfortunately it's not got all the other benefits that teaching has. So yeah, but it's fine, you know, it's fine. And if you do wear those two perfumes, by the way, I mean, they're very nice. It's just, to me, they're just pure work. You know, I wear them for work, and I do box up my perfumes into. I would not wear those at the weekend. I just wouldn't wear them at the weekend. They're my work perfumes, and I suppose that's a little bit sad really. I think that's probably one of the reasons I've gone to do this, so that, you know, I'm forced to wear different perfumes and try them out and do something different in the week, you know. So hopefully that will be a good change for me as well. I do feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry if I'm boring. This life update thing is really hard. What else can I tell you? What would you like to know about? I did take up running again last term, about November time. I just had that moment where I was like, yes, I just did it one night, Monday night. Off I went, did a 5k run, and continued for a good couple of months, right up until Christmas actually. I was running like 3 times a week, 9:30 at night, in the dark, you know, in the cold, after a day at work, after the girls in bed. Could feel myself dropping off like I normally would, and then was like, no, I've got to get my trainers on. Went out and actually coped quite well with that. I think it did actually give me more energy to do that, which I think is true. I think when you do exercise, it does give you more energy, and was feeling really good. And then it dropped off, of course, before Christmas. I was poorly. I had this flu that everybody's had and wasn't very well. That kind of threw me off. And then my husband was poorly, and it was coming up to Christmas, and I just missed a few runs really. And over Christmas just went back to my comfort eating. I'm a massive emotional eater. I eat and eat and eat. I think I have got a problem, and if I run, you know, I can control it because I'm burning it off. And when I don't run, my weight goes up and down and up and down. I have got a real problem, I think, with food and eating, and I just can't control it really. Like at carbs especially, I mean, I will just come home, and as I'm getting the girls' dinner ready, you know, I'll be snacking, I'll be eating crisps, I'll be eating biscuits, I'll be eating bread. I mean, if you could see me, it's awful. You know, I stop and think about it, you know, what I must be like, and it's awful. You know, what I can pack in. I really do like eating and food. And when I was running, you know, my clothes, they all started becoming loose and everything was going well. I'm like, I'm on track. And then now those same clothes are tight again, and they're getting tighter because I've not been running. And so that's literally within a few months, my weight's gone up and down. And of course, last year I did the 10K challenge where it went down and then I've gone back up and down again and then back up. It's I just can't get a handle on it. I just and it is down to just no time for the exercise. It's such an effort. When you're a mom, it's so hard. And that's the key thing, I think. It's finding the time to exercise, and to maintain that exercise and to keep it up. I mean, before I had children, it was just so easy. I just went to the gym 2-3 times a week and loved the gym. I love the gym, and it's just so easy. You know, if you enjoy it, it's easy. Of course, if you don't like exercise, it's not easy. But I mean, I do like exercising, but I just can't find the time. But anyway, you won't believe me, but I'm off again next week. I'm starting again. So I've decided next week, let's start it up again. So I'm determined to do 2 runs next week. I'm gonna try and get back into my running again, and get those 5K runs in. I'm aiming to do hopefully a 10K, like proper run. I'm gonna sign up for one in probably Easter time. And I would just love to be fitter by the summer. So I'm starting again next week, and I'll update you next week on how I've got on, which will be a big incentive because I'll be able to be accountable, and if I haven't done it, I'll have to admit it on one of my videos. So I am pledging now. I am going to do some runs next week. So that's sort of the fitness side of things, really. And to be honest, that's probably all I've got to say, really. I don't really know what else to talk about. If there's anything that you would like to know, then do leave a comment or ask me. I can't think really of anything else that that I can really tell you about. I'm sort of thinking ahead a lot at the moment to the future and what I want to do, really, because my life is quite I've not got a lot of nothing solid in my life. I feel I don't own my house. I rent my house. I'm free to move. I'm free to go, and thinking ahead to sort of schools for my little girl, and where do we want to settle, and I'm really thinking quite hard at the moment, and it's very stressful. It keeps me up. Well, I'm up anyway, but when I get up at 3 in the morning and feed baby, I can't go back to sleep because I'm worrying and I'm thinking about them, and what's going to be best for them. And we never stop worrying, do we, about our children? And I never really comprehended how much you do worry about your children, and it's a different kind of worry to worrying about yourself. It's very difficult. It's very hard. It's a worry that I worry about everything. I worry about the world that they're growing up in, and I worry about all the stuff you read on and hear on the news, and the kind of world that we live in. And I want them to have the best education, and what school do they go to, and you know, as a teacher, I see all of the issues that kids have, and yeah, it's just a lot of worry really at the moment. It's I'm sorry it's not been a very positive life update, but it's, I don't know, it's part and parcel of being a mum, I suppose, and you just want the best, don't you, for your children, and nothing can really prepare you for the worry that you do have about them. And yeah, but anyway, so I think I'd probably better shut up now, and I've been rambling on. I'm sorry it's not been the best video. If you've hung on with me, thank you, and I hope you've learnt more about me. And like I say, if there's anything that you would like to know, or you know, if you'd like to ask me anything, if I've not covered things, I don't know, just let me know in the comments. And I'm excited to be back next week. It will be hopefully a perfume related video. I'm going to be doing lots of reviews. I'm going to dig out my collection. I'm going to grab my favourites, and I'm just going to review them. I'm going to continue on with my black opium, and I've got some other exciting things as well in the pipeline. And yeah, perfume I think is gonna get me through this time, and just it's always been the thing that makes me happy, and that's never going to change, I don't think. So yeah, so anyway, I hope you have a brilliant week, and do get in touch, do subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Okay, all right, see you guys, bye.